minus the 5. We went to 5.5. We took a 5-figure bet on UNC minus 5.5. The tickets are over 3x on North Carolina. The money is over 2 times on North Carolina. So massive North Carolina money. We're up to 6. This could keep going up. It doesn't look like anybody's looking to bet Auburn. In terms of all 4 of these games, the least support we've taken for the dog on the money line is Auburn, despite them being the second lowest favorite. The second lowest number in terms of a dog. They're not betting them at all. And the total is another thing. It's 163.5. The public is on the over, probably because of what Mr. Pearl said. But we have taken some sharp bets on the under. It's down to 163.5. It was 165 at one point.
Now, how do you feel about that? Here's a coach who's coming out and saying, well, I don't want to say anything but bet the over, like on a national TV broadcast. Do you think that's cool? Is that weird? Are you in favor of it? What's your take on Bruce Pearl's, advising people to make bets?
Yeah, I was very taken aback because that's typically not something you hear. You'll hear coaches in the locker room who are a dog try to use, Vegas line as motivation technique.
Right.
Something like that. But in terms of like a national television, this national television statement, I've never seen such a thing. I like it because it just brings people's, awareness to the betting, and it also, maybe makes it seem like it's, while the NCAA doesn't like it, maybe some of these coaches don't really care that much about it, and that's only a good thing for, moving the business forward.
We do want to mention, by the way, there's a rumor going out. It's not true. Bruce Pearl will not have a guaranteed parlay at WagerTalk tomorrow, okay? So that's not true. From the way you're talking about this, is there any sharp money showing to counterbalance what's happening with the North Carolina money? Anything sharp on Auburn?
No, and that's what worries me about this game. So typically if the line moves from 5 to 6, there will be somebody who takes – so you move from 5 to 5.5 and you hope somebody wants to take Auburn plus the 5.5. Nope, didn't happen here. All right, so then you move it to 6 and you hope maybe they're going to take that. So we'll see what happens. I do think they might take, the Auburn bet. The Auburn bet, I think, will come eventually, but it doesn't look like anybody's very excited about them.
Moving to Saturday in the Elite Eight, let's start off with Purdue and Virginia. And Purdue off the incredible win where they blow a big lead but survive in overtime against Tennessee. They get to the Elite Eight, and they face one of the pre-tourney favorites in Virginia, which hasn't wowed anybody so far, but they're effectively playing their style of basketball, and they've won 3 games. What's happening with the betting?
Yeah, so Virginia minus 4.5 was the opener here. We haven't really had to move it. Not a ton of action on these games yet. There's actually a little bit more on the other game.
Yeah.
But in this one, not as much yet. They do like Virginia a little bit. The tickets are pretty even right now. I actually think there's a shot we're going to need Virginia here because they're just not a fun team to bet, as we know. And Purdue has been, obviously really good this tournament. So I do think we might end up needing the favorite, but a little too early to tell.
And the other game that is already established for the Elite Eight has Gonzaga and Texas Tech. And really, when you think about TV ratings, this isn't the matchup that they love. When you think about the Blue Bloods for the weekend, this isn't the matchup they love, and that's why it's the early game on Saturday. Are you seeing that in early betting action, that the public not as excited about getting involved with the Red Raiders and the Zags? Or, hey, it's an Elite Eight game. Doesn't matter who's playing. We're excited. It's a number 1 seed and a number 3 seed.
Yeah, it's been decent action so far. About 2 times more bets on the Zags on the spread minus the 4. But Texas Tech money line is extremely popular. That's plus 165. So this one is shaping up for the very typical need the favorite to win but not cover, or we need the favorite to win outright, because I actually imagine that the Texas Tech money is going to come. They've just been so impressive this tournament. Plus 165 on the money line is a pretty juicy price for a lot of people to take.
We'll do some quick hits in Major League Baseball from tonight's all-night game, but abbreviated schedule. Before we do that, let's talk about the Wild and the Golden Knights, because they're in town tonight. And Golden Knights off 3 straight losses. I would think they're going to get some support from the bettors here, who don't think they'll be losing 4 straight, particularly with this game at home against a slumping opponent.
Yeah, the Knights are minus 185 at home. We've taken way more bets on them, not surprising. Plus 140 on the puck line. So that's kind of the go-to. Whenever the Knights are a favorite, they'll go to the puck line. So they're minus 1.5. Obviously, they're plus 140. There's a lot of support on the Knights. Very little action on the Wild. We have a lot of tourist places, so from time to time we will take bets on the dog from the away team when their fans are in town, but it doesn't look like there's a ton of Minnesota fans in town for this one, so it seems like we're going to be rooting for the Wild. I will not be in attendance tonight, though, so the Knights have a very good chance.
Wild have a real good chance to win. Wait, actually, you've won 2 in a row, haven't you?
That's true. I have.
Everything comes around eventually. Rockies and Marlins on the diamond tonight. Are you going to need the Marlins in every game this year?
crazy. I mean, look, the Marlins and the Orioles are not going to be favorites very frequently. That's for sure. That's a sure thing in this one. I think the Marlins are, probably worse, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, the Marlins will favor. The Marlins will play the Orioles in interleague play, and some will have
Miami
to be
will be favored
in
those matchups, possibly.
In
this game today, the Marlins are plus 145, but they actually bet them. They bet them early on, so we have taken some action on them. The Rockies were minus 150. They got bet up to minus 160, but we took a Marlins bet as a dog, and the Rockies came back down to minus 55, which is where they are. All the parlays have the Rockies, though.
The Brewers got a 6-out save on opening day, which culminated with a great catch.
Oh, boy, it sure was.
by Lorenzo Cain to keep the ball in the park and get the last out of the ninth inning. But the bettors don't seem to think they're going to have a chance of a repeat tonight. Looks like the money's coming on St. Louis in Milwaukee.
Yeah, big time on St. Louis. In fact, last night when we opened the overnight, St. Louis opened as a dog. They are now a minus 110 favorite. This was sharp and public action backing the Cardinals. We took sharp bets on it. They actually laid minus 105 with the Cardinals, which is why it's all the way up to minus 110.
Giants held scoreless by the Padres yesterday. Padres getting their first terrific pitching effort of what could be many this year. That's a good young staff. Lauer, Lucchesi goes tonight. Paddock, who goes tomorrow. Lots of excitement in San Diego right now. Is it already showing at the betting windows?
It is. Coming off it was a shutout yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure was.
Yep. So, coming off the shutout yesterday, they're a favorite of minus 155, but they actually got some action. It was 145 yesterday when it opened up to 155. There's the ticket count and the money favors the Padres, which is not something you typically say to start a baseball season.
And maybe that's a harbinger of things to come. One thing I'm sure you don't want to be a harbinger of things to come is the Dodgers covering on the run line last night. Dodgers setting an opening day record with 8 dingers. What are you seeing tonight between L.A. and Arizona?
Oh, yeah, they're going to be betting the Dodgers a lot. It's kind of the opposite. The Dodgers are going to be the opposite of the Marlins and the Orioles, where they bet them pretty much every game. They're minus 170 here. We took bets on them. They were minus 165, moved them to minus 168, then up to minus 170. 2 times more bets on the Dodgers. We'll be rooting for the Rays. We'll be rooting for the D-backs and behind the arm of Ray tonight.
I went 1-2 on opening day in baseball, but the one winner was a nice dog on the Detroit Tigers, and I thought I would win. When Daniel Hudson came into the game for the Toronto Blue Jays, it's like, yes! And right immediately, the Tigers scored 2 runs. Tigers and Blue Jays tonight, I suspect there will be more run scoring in this game than 2 runs in 10 innings like last night.
Yeah, I mean, the total here is 9, which is the highest total on the board tonight. So certainly that would indicate it's going to be a bit of a high-scoring game. This was another game where we took some sharp action. Actually, they actually bet the Tigers as a dog. They're still a dog of plus 110, but it actually was plus 120 at one point. The sharp bets that we took was at plus 117, down to plus 110 right now. So move towards the Tigers as a dog in this one.
Boy, that potent Astros lineup was taking some good at-bats yesterday against Blake Snell. They're matched up today against Charlie Morton, of all people. Morton, who had great success in Houston. Cole and Morton, Astros and the Rays. What are you seeing?
Yeah, not surprising. Public on the Astros. Ticket count is a little higher than 2-1. But we've taken a little bit more money on the Rays as a dog, believe it or not. They're plus 125. Nothing crazy sharp about this game, but good two-way action.
Angels and A's, the A's with the win last night. They'll face Matt Harvey tonight, who takes them on for the Halos, and he'll go against Marco Estrada, who did not have a great outing in Japan. Estrada's an interesting guy because he's a fly ball pitcher, and that ballpark in Japan was certainly not suited to the way he throws. But his new ballpark, his new home ballpark in Oakland, is more suited to him. Nevertheless, from what I've seen, it looks like some Halos action here.
Yeah, Halos action and over action. This is another one with a big total, 8.5, over minus 20. If you feel like betting the over, you got to lay 20. So clearly they think this one's going to be a bit of a high-scoring game. Matt Harvey's a minus 110 favorite. The tickets are relatively even on this game, but we've taken 3 times more money on the Angels, so they kind of look to be the right side early on.
I played first 5 in that game. I took the Angels first 5. I don't want to go against this Oakland bullpen. It's a good bullpen, guys.
Mm-hmm. And that's worth noting, certainly early on. You want to make money in baseball, find good bullpens, and bet them every day. So last night, let's see, or yesterday, I say, at opening day, DeGrom under first 5 went. That's 24-4 now. The Yankees covered on the run line. The Astros covered on the run line. The Phillies covered on the run line. The Dodgers covered on the run line. I'll be willing to bet that you guys did not want the Red Sox to cover on the run line last night, and you got what you wanted.
Yeah,
Seattle.
I'll tell you. Well, the college hoops went good for us yesterday. Baseball did not. And it was actually a negative number, even with the Red Sox losing. But if the Red Sox would have covered, and especially if they would have won by 2 or more, it would have been really bad to start the season. So we definitely needed the Mariners to come back there. And now the fans are really thinking that the Red Sox are going to come back in a big way. Eovaldi is minus 138. There is about 5 times more bets. Over 2 times more money on the Red Sox, so people are banking on the Red Sox to have a bounce back after yesterday's bad game.
Had some friends watching the baskets last night at the Cosmopolitan. They said it was absolutely fantastic down there. The crowds were just great. Everybody was really into it. That's been the story at all the CG properties around town.
Yeah, no better time than to come down to the book, especially now. It's nice weather. It's sunny out. The sun's out later. You get college hoops. You get baseball. I don't recall opening day matching up with the Sweet 16, but maybe I'm wrong. But I just don't remember that happening in a while.
I don't remember it either.
Yeah,
that was super fun yesterday.
And I guess we have to get to the sad part of the show because this is your last appearance representing CG with us, Jason. It's been a great ride with you. I mean, your information's been absolutely spectacular, and we'll still be getting the great information from CG on a weekly basis, but this is your last show.
Yeah, it's bittersweet because, it certainly is. One of the things I enjoy most about this is talking to you guys each week, so certainly we'll miss it.
And you can tell us who are he's got big shoes to fill, but you're replacement director of risk management for CG. Yeah,
absolutely. Tony D, he's going to come on and put it this way. Anything good that I tell you guys comes from him anyway, so he'll now actually, you'll hear it from the horse's mouth, so it'll be better.
All right, Jason. We'll be following you on Twitter at Simbal, keeping up with what's going on in your life, and it's been a blast, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
We will come back. We'll have Kelly Stewart joining us. Kelly in Vegas, not in person. She'll be on the phone today, but we're going to talk about today's 4 at 4, and as you can probably figure out, it'll be on tonight's Sweet 16 Quartet.
The Las Vegas Sportsline.
Finley Acura in the Valley Auto Mall has slam dunk deals for you to trade up your vehicle during the Finley Acura March Mayhem sales event. Right now, save thousands on all new and pre-owned vehicles like the all-new RDX, MDX, TLX, and ILX. Plus, have your choice of $500 towards your first-year registration or 2 years of free maintenance. Finley Acura will meet or beat any other Acura dealership price. They have access to the largest pre-owned inventory in all of Nevada. So don't delay. Trade up today at Finley Acura in the Valley Auto Mall and visit FinleyAcura.com.
You have to be up in 5 hours. 2 hours. 6 minutes, and you haven't slept a wink. ZzzQuil Pure Z's is a drug-free blend of botanicals with an optimal dose of melatonin, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake with no next-day grogginess. So tonight, try new ZzzQuil Pure Z's from the sleep experts at Vicks ZzzQuil.
I'm Dave Cokin with Cliff Miller from MJ Christensen Diamonds. This is my favorite one to talk about, diamonds from outer space.
Oh, moissanite. And it is popular with a certain sect. You know, a lot of ladies, if it's not a diamond, it's not going to happen. So from space or wherever it's from, no moissanite for them. But it is a greatly, highly dispersive stone that can be enjoyed.
MJ Christensen, something special for the love of your life. Located at Boca Park.
Dave Cokin with John Lyons from Lyons Physical Therapy. So give me a rundown on maybe a typical treatment at LPT.
Sure, Dave. On an initial consult, we'll sit down with the patient for at least 10 or 15 minutes, get a history of their injury or their condition. Then we'll move into an assessment where we put our hands on the patient, take them through a few special tests to identify what the pain source is and what the actual injury is. Then we'll use some modalities like heat and electric stimulation to reduce their pain and muscle spasms. And typically our physical therapist or assistant will do some type of manual stretching, massage therapy, or range of motion on that patient. And after the initial visit, we typically see patients 2 to 3 times a week for 4 to 6 weeks.
LionsPTLV.com, 702-476-0222.
Hitting the road? Taking on the desert trails? Is your fun riding pleasure a motorcycle, dirt bike, ATV, or side-by-side? Before heading out on your next journey, Interstate Batteries suggest you check the battery and cables. A low charge, loose connections, and corrosion can rob the battery of its full power. And nothing is worse than a dead battery when you least expect it. Have your battery and cables checked